A huge snow train is about to slam the United States, which will lead to a bunch of snow threats over the next 7 days. What's crazy is this winter storm train is set to dump repeated rounds of heavy snow across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and East Coast. This comes directly after the worst blizzard in at least 10 years impacted the Northeast. Additionally, we are looking at a dramatic temperature roller coaster over the next 7 days, with wild swings from bitter Arctic air to abnormally warm temperatures. This winter pattern will be absolutely crazy, so let's get right into the forecast. And I want to begin today's forecast by talking about the insane nor'easter that happened yesterday in the Northeast. This one was downright historic. We ended up seeing nearly 40 inches of snow in some locations. Look at this over here near Long Island. We had a widespread 20 to 30 inches of snow basically in New York City, all the way back over towards Montauk in far eastern Long Island. Back over in Massachusetts is really where it hit hard. Back over in Rhode Island, we had a couple of locations near Providence reach 38 inches of snow from this winter storm. It was absolutely crazy. Even near Warwick, we had about 38 inches of snow. And believe it or not, this beats the 1978 blizzard for the most snowfall we've ever seen in Providence, Rhode Island, coming in at 38 inches of snow. That is nearly 9 inches of snow more than the 1978 blizzard, which was downright crazy back over in the Northeast. Even just south of Boston and Milton, we had 24 inches. Also closer to areas like Plymouth, which really got hammered by this winter storm when it came to the winds. Saw about 30 inches of snowfall. So this was a really historic winter storm. I know some of you did not see nearly as much snowfall as forecasted, but for some others, there was a lot more snow than forecasted. Now let's talk more about this really big weather pattern change that is about to impact nearly the entire country. And this thing is going to really change the weather for the remainder of February and also early March. So this is what it looks like right now. We have a large dip in the jet stream back along the East Coast. Arctic air is currently spilling out of Canada, making its way all the way down into areas like Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. This is one of the coldest mornings that we've had down here since the beginning of February. And then our really large nor'easter has now made its way into Nova Scotia, back over into parts of Canada. So that thing is gone. We are done with the very significant snowfall for only today. We are going to see more snowfall in the Northeast tomorrow, another chance on Thursday and Friday. There's another chance in early March. We could have 3 winter storms just over the next 7 days in the Northeast. So this is what's going to look like by Wednesday and Thursday. We have a large high pressure system that has built its way up across the Baja California. Very intense jet stream, basically zonal flow coming out of the west. But notice this right here. We got a little dip in our jet stream back over in North Dakota, basically across far western Canada. And this is what's going to allow for Alberta clippers and separate winter storms to try to make their way over the Great Lakes and the Northeast. And this is going to lead to more snowstorm chances across parts of the Ohio Valley, Midwest, and then back into the East Coast during the middle and end of this week. And then once we go into next weekend is when we do have the possibility of seeing a more significant and larger storm system along the East Coast that could bring a lot more problems sometime around Friday or Saturday. And then once we go into the beginning of March, things get very interesting. This is obviously going to be the beginning of severe weather season. March through June are typically the most active when it comes to tornadoes and severe weather. And we are expecting our jet stream to lift very far off to the north, which means most of our winter storm chances will likely start to lift back to the north into the Midwest and the Northeast. Meanwhile, severe weather will start to make a return with some big storm systems most likely during the first couple of weeks of March. Now let's talk more about these storm systems that'll be coming to the United States, and it'll begin with what is happening today. We already have a little Alberta clipper that is currently forming back over in the upper Midwest and parts of Canada. We also have an atmospheric river event that is impacting the Pacific Northwest. Heavy rain along the coastline in Northern California, Western Oregon, heavy snowfall in the higher elevations. Once we go later into today, this Alberta clipper is going to make its way across Wisconsin, Michigan, and also back into parts of northern Illinois. There will be some light snow showers, a little bit of moderate to heavy snow as possible in the upper peninsula of Michigan later this afternoon. And then once we go into the evening hours tonight, this low pressure system will intensify just a little bit as it continues to move to the southeast, but it will also be kind of broadening out and becoming a larger low pressure center area. And so this is going to start to lead to just a larger widespread area of light to maybe moderate snow showers Wednesday morning across parts of the Ohio Valley and the Northeast. This will not really be that impactful. I think for the most part, we're talking about 1 to 3 inches of snow for most locations. There could be some localized areas though that get around 3 to 6 inches, especially near the lakes like Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. And then back over in New England, as we go into Wednesday morning and afternoon, there will be some light to moderate snow. This will again not be as heavy as what we just saw from the nor'easter, but we could see a few inches of snow there. And then once we get into late Wednesday and Thursday, we're gonna have a large area of moisture come over the Rockies from our atmospheric river event back over in the Pacific Ocean. And this is going to lead to our next big storm system. This one could be pretty impactful when it comes to snow,